Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of CowCast, where we basically get together with some of our subscribers to talk about Star Citizen, talk about the game, the development, basically anything that's on our minds. We will probably cover some random topics as well, so if you're interested in what other games we're playing, then stick around, because we will cover that near the end. So with me today, obviously, we have Kryko, as always. How you doing?
Hello.
We also have with us Jag. How you doing, my friend?
Howdy.
And we have Sprocket. How you going?
Doing right. And yourself?
Yeah, I am. Well, I will bring it up now because occasionally I'm gonna phase off because I'm on crack. No, because I'm on heavy painkillers. I did injure my finger, and I have had a small operation on it, and so now I have this wonderful thing. So I'm in a lot of pain. So occasionally you might see a small man tear just roll down my face, but it'll be fine. We'll manage through. So pretty much what we're going to discuss is I think first things first, we'll discuss the upcoming patch of 3.6. Loads of stuff has moved, and I don't think we'll cover maybe the moving aspect of it, the stuff that's kind of been pushed ahead. Let's focus on the good. Let's focus on the stuff that is coming. So one thing that I've been looking forward to is, since I saw the video of it, was the hover mechanic. That intrigues me. I'm scared of it because I know that I will crash my ship immediately. What's everyone's opinions on this new hover mechanic in 3.6? Let's start with the man himself, Kryko. How are you? I know you can't talk about certain things because you have some avocado status, but we have to be careful here. We don't want to get sued, so just what we all know so far about the hover mechanic. Are you excited about it?
Don't know. You really shouldn't start with me. You really shouldn't.
All right, I tell you what. Who here isn't an avocado? Jag,
I'm not.
I was going to say, Jag,
you're up.
Yeah, Sprocket,
I am
go.
avocado, I'm afraid.
All right, it's basically it's just me and you, Sprocket.
Okay. From what I've seen, I mean, it's about time they added it because I knew the Constellation had those doors that open up and they have those fans that are help with VTOL or takeoff and landing. I mean, I'm glad they finally decided to put it in because then it'll take a lot of stress and a lot of stress off of those maneuvering thrusters, which is what have been basically keeping all the ships at station keeping when either in atmosphere over a planet or a moon or even out in space. So it'd be nice to be able to, not have to worry about those things failing because they're going to fail.
Yeah. I'm interested to see it just because the idea of having sorry, that was hilarious, and we'll leave that in just because the idea of having the ability now to hover and do all this kind of stuff, which before everything just seemed to float, you know what I mean, and it was a bit bland. All the ships felt the same, and I hope that they get a way to make all these ships feel unique in the way that they hover, because not all ships are going to have the same mechanic for VTOL. So that's my hope anyway, and I will 100% crash my ship immediately when I try and land. I see you smirking. I 100% know I will, because I'm a bit of a nosy lander, and I've been practicing my kind of my horizontal landings, but I know I'm just going to go and die. So what can you do?
Let's do a belly flop right into the moon.
Pretty much. What else have we got in 3.6? Anyone want to throw out 3.6 wonder?
I got to admit, even though I'm avocado, there are a couple of things about that hover mode I think are pretty important before we move on that I think probably motivated Sig to do this. One of the things I find is quite immersion breaking for me is when you see people coming into land and they kind of going nose down all the way around the kind of pads and stuff like that, and also places like the bunker missions in Hurston.
Yeah.
People flying with an arrow, which is meant to be a fighter, into atmosphere, park it like that, sort of circle around and blow everything up with the guns, and then eventually go off and land. Just a point about this: when they get the hover mode in, and I don't want to comment on the mechanics of it because of the avocado status and what I've seen today. One of the things that occurs to me actually, it's obviously going to be less, it's not going to be as easy to go in with a ship and kind of hoover around and destroy targets on the ground like that. Which brings into play gameplay for things like gunships, dedicated gunships, things with turrets. So I think multiplayer gameplay, something like a Constellation with a lower turret, actually get that manned and somebody on it to take out those guns around a bunker mission, or to mow down infantry. If it works well in that respect, I think it'll have achieved something quite good. And just from a visual perspective, it'd be nice to see people coming in and landing as you'd expect, in atmosphere on pads and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I look forward to seeing the first couple of days of the patch when people that aren't too clued up about what's coming in the patch actually first kind of experience the hover mode and crash into buildings and trees and all sorts. It's going to be amusing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it will be funny, and it'll be hilarious to see Spectrum, because that's just going to explode with people going, "What have you done to my game?" So, but it's like you said, it's going to remove that annoyance of people being able to just suddenly go, "I'm just going to stop here and fire at you with they don't even have to think. There's no second thoughts about anything other than aiming." Whereas at least now they're going to have to keep their ship from veering into rocks or buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
exactly that.
Yeah, very interesting. So, what else have we got in 3.6, Krakow? Anything of note?
Not really. No. There's a Vanguard rework.
Mm-hmm. Is that the Warden? Or...
Yes. Well, it was meant to be in there. They haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
According to the roadmap.
Yes.
And the snub fighters, I believe, are supposed to get a rework for 3.6. And what about that crime system?
Crime
yeah.
Isn't that supposed to be in 3.6 too?
Supposed to. I think
all
they
of
did
it's
mention
supposed
that.
to.
Oh yeah, they did. Did they not mention that in one of the Star Citizen Live or whatever the other one's called? No, it was that Pillar Talk. They did mention that what they wanted, to get in for the lore system isn't actually going to be the whole system anymore. They're going to have to roll it out piece by piece, I think. So we're not going to get it in its entirety, I don't think. Now we're just going to get it piecemeal, sort of thing. But what do people think about this?
It's going to be a bit odd if they give us making a random number up here. If they give us a quarter of the system intended, it's going to feel a bit odd at first until they get all the other bits in there.
Yeah,
it's a good question. How do they incrementally drop that system in? But to be honest, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I've just, apart from the fact that I'm kind of aware that there are different jurisdictions within a system and then inter-system and what have you, I haven't got a clue how this is going to work, really. I've just not seen a fleshed out enough picture of it to actually know how they're going to chunk it up and give us, the first installment. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. The thing that interested me the most, I think, about the what they discussed on that Pillar Talk was going to be the levels of which they will come for you, basically. So depending on what you do wrong, and the fact that like you said, jurisdictions. If you do something in, I don't know, Levski, are they going to follow you on to the ends of the earth? And the answer is, I think at the minute, no. That's the thing they're having trouble with. I don't see how it's going to just kind of drop in little sections of it at a time. I think it's going to be a bit lackluster, I think, for the first few iterations anyway. So
you might just find that the crime system is a non-functional thing for a period of time. Although that's we've yet to see, so I don't want to paint a dark picture on it. But I guess we'll have to see what they do.
yeah, it's all speculation at the minute. So, what else we got on 3.6? Anything jumping out for you, Sprocket, or are you just hibernating now?
I'm just hibernating until it comes out.
Yeah, fair enough.
What about component wear and tear?
Yeah. I mean, have we seen much of that?
No, they meant to put that in 6 months ago, and never seen anything happen to my ship.
No.
So whether this is actually going to do anything or not,
yeah,
who knows?
We had that brief look when they showed the Merlin, and then they had that little slider, and they were showing the degradation. That was cool. But I just want to see it. You know, where's it been all this time? I hope they can get that in on especially on the components, because you want to have something to do. You know, at the moment our ships just stay brand new pretty much the whole time. So it would be nice to know that the more you push your ship, the more chance there is of having to change something. You know, so
I've got to admit, with these SIG deliveries of these features or what have you, a lot of the time they will talk about something, make a feature in a show about something, and you will see a glimmer of it come in, and sometimes these things seem to come in and then come back out again. I think things like damage states I've seen on ships inconsistently for a period of time, showing all kinds of damage, and then later on I'm not getting that damage state at all. A few releases later, it seems very hit and miss, and I don't know if they're testing things, checking they work, and then pulling them back out because the servers are quite limited in what they can deliver at the moment. Maybe that's the reason. They just test and then pull things back out and say, okay, that's done, we'll drop that back in later. Or is it just an unfinished feature? I don't know. There's a lack of clarity around these features a lot of time, as far as I can see. And I don't know whether they've tried something that actually I'm not, doesn't hit the mark, and they just withdrawn it and they'll rework it or what. So I'd like to see more visibility about the success of implementation when it comes to the roadmap sometimes, rather than having things tick off and then just kind of move on without getting that qualification that it's actually worked as intended.
Yep. I think the one thing that possibly jumped out at me, excuse the pun, was the fact that they're going to have, is it the new, are they doing the new jump, or whatever you call it? Is it vaulting or jumping? Is that not in this one? Or
I think that got pushed back.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, we weren't going to talk about things that got pushed back.
Oh, no.
So.
It's still in there. I was fairly sure that got pushed back, but apparently it's polishing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because that's one thing that bugs me a lot is because there's this really awesome bit of footage that I use quite a lot. I don't know if people have noticed this. I use a lot of our footage over and over again because it's pretty. But there was one where we went down for the first time to the ice planet, and we were leaping around from rock to rock, and it looked amazing, except for the actual jumping itself, where we just go, hey, and then run again, and it's just, it's so annoying. And it's a silly little thing like that that just kind of brings you out of it for a minute when you see your friend T-posing in midair. So that was something that I was kind of hoping that they'd get fixed. What can you do?
One thing I'm looking forward to seeing is the new ship buying terminals, where you can buy pretty much any ship in the game now. There's been a few leaks about prices, and I don't know if we really want to go into that yet, but that's interesting. And the new shield tech system. Not exactly sure what kind of change that's going to make to actual gameplay.
That's not the full system, is what I've heard. I don't know what you guys have heard on this, but I think they've made some changes in as much as if you had two different shield types in the past installed, it would just kind of homogenize them into some kind of aggregate shield system, but now they actually run differently. So you could have something like a tanky shield up front, or a quick to regenerate shield up front and a tanky one on the back. They behave differently. I think there's been some information kind of put out about the actual visuals around this, but they have a whole new system that they've yet to bring in, and I don't think it's coming in with this release in respect to the shields. The other thing you mentioned, the ship purchasing thing, I think is pretty important as a milestone for this project, because to date there has been a lot of heavy criticism, if I can say it, get my teeth in.
Criticism.
Thank you. About the way the game is funded. And it says to me that they're gearing up to work on a different model for financing the project by getting this in and making any ship available to any player if they're prepared to grind for it. And they're talking up also the kind of persistence of progression and money and what have you. So the likelihood of you being able to buy ships in game, any ship from a terminal, is only going to go up and up. So I suspect, I don't know what the strategy is, obviously, but I suspect Squadron 42, if it does well, will finance development of Star Citizen as a game going forward. And the whole dependency on ship sales is probably going to drop right off. I don't think they're going to stop doing it. But it's not the be-all and end-all of their funding model going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, and as far as actually purchasing ships and all that kind of stuff in game, it just suddenly gives you especially having more options now, it just gives you more reason with some persistence to be able to do the grind, basically, because a lot of times people were just grinding for components, and then when they lost them they'd moan, and then they'd do it all again, whereas at least now there is a little bit more of a light at the end of the tunnel for people who perhaps don't really want to just do the circular grind all the time. So yeah, it's interesting. I want an Apollo, damn it.
It's all right. I got to say, that whole thing about when you lost your ship, you lost the components that you would earn to fit on it. The amount of times that I'd grind for weapons to try out a new loadout, and you'd leave Olisar and get a 30k or something, and then you lose everything.
Painful.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I think 3.6 is it's not exactly the kind of patch where people are going to be running around with their hands in the air going woohoo. There isn't that much in it, I think, that is as game changing as say 3.5 should have been, and kind of was, but it'll be interesting, I think, to have some of these newer features in, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to seeing if they rush it out and break the game again, and see if we get stuck in Hurston or somewhere.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, Star Citizen's favorite mini game, Escape from Hurston.
Oh yes, yeah. I'm pretty sure that they probably all just sit around when they're not working, just watching people seriously frustrated not being able to get a ship out. They just go. So yeah, what can
Suckers.
You do? Oh man. So the other thing that was interesting that I saw recently, which I was going to bring up again, was the 890 jump, because I saw that medical bay and I'm super excited. I don't want an 890 jump, but I want that medical bay. So if we could just take that and just put it inside my freelancer, what do you think? Do you think that's an option? No?
Yes.
Anyone?
Sure, that's doable.
I got it. I knew you'd love that. I knew you'd love that. Because they've done a good job with the inside of the 890 jump. It does look a little bit special. I don't think I'd ever buy one. I still find Origin is a weird brand when it comes to the ship. It's this kind of quality, stroke power, stroke flouncy yacht. And I don't think anything kind of, highlights that more than the 890 jump, where you've got, on the one hand, a swimming pool to take your friends in. And then a little bit further on down the hall, you've got a battle room.
Yeah.
It's kind of, what is that, kind of panic room type thing? I don't understand how that's going to work. So somebody comes in, attacks, you're all up on the bridge, sailing away, and then you've got to get up, animate out the seat, run down the corridor and jump into the battle room or something? Or is there a button you press and your chair drops? Or how does it work? Because you've got a transit time, surely, to get from A to B when you go into battle. How does that practically work if it's not an offensive ship?
Yeah.
Design concept is really weird.
Doesn't really make sense, does it?
No.
It's Very odd. I was kind of hoping that they'd have, the tubes that they have in banks. Where you go, boom, and something just You need some of those where you just go,
pneumatic tubes.
yeah, that would be awesome. To the tubes. It is weird. It's a weird system. It's a cool system. I love the idea of having like some little battle bridge that's like protected near the middle of the ship and all that. But yeah, in the time you take to run down there, do they have automated turrets or anything that's working for you whilst you're in that weird hiatus running down? Strange. Very strange.
Yeah, I just cannot work out the mindset of having that. If you have an offensive vessel, and the whole point is you go out looking for a punch up. You get the lads together, you all congregate in the battle room, close the doors, get the monitors on, and go looking for a fight. But this thing is a yacht, it's a pleasure yacht. So Anyway, let's see how that one
Take you 15, 20 minutes to get down there and get everybody situated. By that time, your shields are already down, you lost an engine, and there's smoke and fire everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. You've got to find somewhere to put your plate of quinoa, haven't you? When you're dispose of that.
Yeah. The worst thing is when you go down to your little panic room, you open the door and you just find Jodie Foster sitting in there. That's when you've got to worry. Right. So there you go. Film reference for anyone watching. So, but it's a weird thing. But the ship itself is cool. I mean, the 890 jump is an awesome looking thing. I just think that it's a weird choice that anyone would make. Do you know what I mean? Over most of the other ships in the game, it just seems strange. You've got to really want a swimming pool, basically.
Yeah. Do you think the party ship concept actually is going to be a thing? I will never play this game, and this is just me. I don't, different people play games differently, and it is an MMO, so there's that social aspect to it. But can you see people who are attracted to a game like this thinking, I want to go on a pleasure cruise and have a kind of party and hang out? I mean, it might be a thing, but
there must be. Really must be. Some people bought it. We know a couple of people in our Discord that have got it. But going back to that strange kind of combat room thing, I've got a feeling that was just a room that they didn't know what to put in there. And the only thing they could think of was
a battle bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, what else can we put in it? It's already got everything. I don't know.
Bowling alley, cinema.
Yeah, I could have put a bowling alley in there.
Yeah, strip club. There's a million
strip
things.
Club, yeah.
Strip club with just my female character in there, on a pole, greased up and ready to go. Yeah, that makes more sense actually. They come to the middle of the ship and they went, "What is this void?" And they're like, "Oh, I just didn't know what to do." And like, yeah, that makes sense. But, no, I like it, but I would probably just maybe stick with a 600i or something if I wanted a pleasure yacht, because that thing's big enough and it's cool enough, but you don't really need to go, like the whatever that great big Queen Elizabeth yacht is, or whatever it is, the thing people live on, all year round. It doesn't need to be that big. So.
I got it. 600i is another one, right? I think this ship is amazing. So it was, they had the touring version, was the sub ship for the month.
Yeah.
And I really grew to like the scale of it. Was fantastic, but the external design, all the kind of side stuff where the retro thrusters are, and the missile presentation from that point, that whole design of all of the external design, I just think is absolutely flawless. Apart from you can see this fantastic ship flying through space. It's got some size 5s on there and these whacking great missiles. So it's also part exploration, part death. And as it turns and comes towards you, all you can see at the bottom, you can see this deck, with the crew all sitting there coming towards you, and underneath is this IKEA showroom, this king-size bed and some plants flying towards you. Man, I don't understand the thinking behind it, because it is an amazing ship.
And then you can see into somebody's bedroom.
I know, it's such a weird design decision. They need to kind of one-way mirror.
Or polarize that glass that's underneath, so you can at least have a little bit of privacy in your bedroom, or just not make it look like you're peering into somebody's bedroom.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where if the captain's going to go down with the ship, then someone's going to be going down with the ship. He just wants everyone to see him in his bedroom, just like, nah, just take me now. It is a weird design choice. And the thing I don't like about that ship is the handling, the speed, firing its guns.
Everything.
Just mostly all of it. I love the ship, and I've said this 100 times. That would be the ship I'd work towards when I retire. I do not want to take that thing out fighting people. We had a little butchers around in it, didn't we? And it wasn't fun to combat in that ship. But the rest of it is cool, and I like the little bar and the pool table. So I'm sold on that.
I got to say, with the weapons it's got on there, fixed weapons is SIG have, I think, designed themselves into a corner. Well, they're going to have to come up with some magic at the moment around the fixed versus gimbaled weapon. Because if you take a look at it now, there is absolutely no reason whatsoever, I think, to use fixed weapons in the verse. It is
terrible.
More effective to take the step down and the gimbal and put gimbal assist on and constantly strike your target than it is to spend your time, especially with the way the pip system is at the moment, lag is trying to pick off people with fixed weapons, because it's just not working at the moment.
They're probably going to have to backtrack that at some point, aren't they? Unless they really get the fixed weapon, well, the pips, ESP and all that. They sort that out, it might kind of balance it back out again. But like you say, at the moment, it's gimbal assist all the way.
Absolutely, which is why, going in something agile like an arrow, switching gimbal assist on, and even though you've got a couple of size 1s and a couple of size 2, is massively more effective than taking out. Think about the Heartseeker pilots in the universe out there that have got themselves in 3.5 a ship with a size 4 and 3 size 3 bearings on there that are fixed by default. And they probably got that thinking that's the meta. And the moment they got it, that changed. And the weapons were nerfed. Fixed fire suddenly came up against gimbal assist. The worst thing about it, from my perspective, is I think the effectiveness of gimbal assisted weapons and fixed fire weapons, they seem to fall within the same range bracket. And it's a very close range bracket. Weapons fire used to be kind of 2K or 3K, or even a bit longer than that. You could snipe with some weapons because the velocity was high, and the damage was reasonable. But everything seems to have been into range now. And gimbal assist is always going to win in that range and closer. They just push up close. Keep the trigger pulled down and keep them roughly within that huge reticle. Whereas fixed fire is just going to be dancing all over the place in that range, because obviously the closer you are, the harder it is to track. And I just can't see what they're going to do to circumvent that setup now. I don't know if you guys have got any ideas around it, or even if you see it's a problem, but I certainly do.
No, I think they're going to have to dial back the gimbal assist at some point. I don't find it. The few times that I've actually tried using it, I still have to get my ship mostly lined up to the pip for it to actually lock on properly. But yeah, it is easier. It just is.
Yeah.
I can't fight in the Tana, for example, without gimbal assist. I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's shocking.
But with gimbal assist, I can actually wreck a few things.
Yeah.
They've kind of made it essential.
Sorry.
No, go on. Yeah, I was going to say they've pretty much made it essential now to phase over to gimbal assist, because it's shocking. So okay, so we've got to talk about it, because we talked about it in one of our videos, and in a couple of days there will be tickets open and available for CitizenCon, which is going to be in Manchester this year. So what do we think about the CitizenCon? Any speculation as to what they might be on offer this year?
Yeah, I'm thinking Microtech. I think that comes out in 3.8, which will be like end of December. So I think they're going to showcase Microtech quite heavily. Other than that, probably mag boots.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
And £5 says there's going to be a carrack shown flying around.
Oh, that'd be nice. Finally get to get my carrack.
Carrack, lucky you.
Oh yeah, I wonder if they'll have a big model of it, like they did with was it the Idris?
No, it was the Kraken.
Oh, Kraken, that's it. Yeah, because we saw those guys at CitizenCon this year, which was the guys they partner with to make all these models, and they were really cool. They showed all the stuff that they kind of go through the process, so it'd be interesting to see if they do that again this year and have a nice massive model. That would be cool.
Yeah.
They were talking about the possibility of having something you can go in. Do you remember?
Something like that. Yeah. Can't remember what they were talking about now. I think they wanted to do like a whole set. So you walk into what looks like, the mid section of the Connie type thing. They would like make the whole scene sort of thing.
Wow, that would be really good to see, wouldn't it?
But it depends if CIG actually pay for it or not.
Yeah, big monies. So that looks crap with my little finger out. I look like posh monies. But yeah, some big monies. But yeah, it would be.
I do think there's a good chance of this carrack thing. I mean, the whole theme, they keep on talking about Crowshaw and explorers and stuff like that. So there's going to be an exploration theme behind it. There has been speculation we might see a jump point and maybe get introduced to the next system, as they're pretty much to the end of completion of Stanton, as it stands at the moment. And I'd love to see that. I'd love it if they surprised us and said, actually, you know what? Here's 2 systems. I know we've already got Delamar sitting in Stanton at the moment. It's not meant to be there. Perhaps they could drop that elsewhere and give us a jump point to it, or who knows what else they might drop in.
I'm not hopeful for a jump point, but I would be very impressed to see one.
Yeah.
Have you seen the previous ones that we've seen beforehand? They did a demo a couple of years ago, and it was really
stuff.
weird.
Yeah. The concept videos.
That's right, yeah. And it looked kind of like, in a space where they shrink those people into a little miniature submarine. And then they're going around like an organic. It looked a bit like that in space, which I thought was a bit weird. I didn't really think I was actually going to have to pilot my way. I thought, I've just press a button, go off and make a cup of coffee and bang, I'll be somewhere else. But it looks like actually that's what they're going to be doing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I quite like it. I think that'd be a good idea to have to actually kind of navigate in a way around the kind of through the jump. I suppose they're probably trying to come up with a way that makes it more engaging if it's going to be a lengthy process. So
do you have to transit through it in a period of time, or could you loiter in there between systems waiting to mug people?
That would be awesome.
Who knows?
Imagine like jump pirates.
That would be fun and also not fun. Again, that would be something for SIG to make sure they can manage griefing.
They'd probably put some sort of mechanic in there, like it tears your ship apart if you're in there too long, or environmental hazards that you have to watch out for.
Like
there'd have to be like
things like that.
Yeah. There'd have to be like a like risk reward kind of element to it. There could be someone hiding in there, but they could also get the ship ripped apart if they
could have resources in there as well, couldn't you?
You could do.
Yeah. Creepy, void resources and stuff. That'd be awesome.
We are maximum theory craft at the moment, aren't we?
Oh yeah,
that's going to work.
This is it. We're crafting our own little mini game. That'd be awesome. I'd love that. I mean, that would be like was it? I can't remember what they used to call it. Is it nullsec? No, zero space. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Remember the dodgy mining? Yeah. Wormhole mining in Eve. It was a terribly scary thing. That was terrifying, but it was rewarding. So, there was a very good possibility you were going to die. But if you didn't...
Everything was really brutal in there, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah, that was awesome. That would be cool. That would be cool. So I'm probably with you, Crack. I'm not super hopeful that we'll see one, but it would be awesome if they did. I just think that I don't know. I think they're still a ways away from that. I reckon at the minute. But Carrot.
Okay, right. I'm gonna put money down on this one.
Oh no!
I'm prepared to accept a bet. I'm convinced they're going to deliver, and Chris Roberts isn't going to let me down here. So, if anyone, any takers, £10 to charity.
All right. And you're going to be at CitizenCon, aren't you?
I could well be this year. Yeah, that's the intention.
I'm going to need a yes on camera. You're committed now. That's it. Everyone's seen it. So if we get there and someone says, look, here's our new jump points, then we will each buy you a drink. So
excellent. I look forward to that glass of Coke.
Oh dear. So
what about you, Sprocket? Was you thinking of going to CitizenCon, or is it just too much cost?
Yeah, it's just too much. Excuse me. Yeah, it was just too much cost.
Yeah.
I'm already going to another convention this year, so I usually limit myself to one convention, and it's the only one convention that I've ever been to. So.
Okay.
So that's it.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
I saw some Australians on Spectrum were talking about the cost of it, and for them to get over to Manchester for CitizenCon, it was like nearly $3,000. Just ridiculous. But then we have that kind of problem when it's in America, don't we? Really, that's why we didn't go last year.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to because was it Houston last?
Austin.
Yeah. Austin,
that's it, Texas. Yeah, I must admit I really wanted to go because there's a million reasons why I want to go there because it's a cool place. But also one of our friends, do you remember, was going to be going out and working that way as well around a similar sort of time, and I was like, well, that would be perfect. I'll come out and visit you, go on a ranch, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it didn't happen because it needed some of that again. And
what about bandaged finger?
It's a bit of posh money.
Bandaged finger.
Yeah, that's actually how you get on planes now. You just go, and that's it. Basically, they just wheel you in. But yeah, it's so much money. It will be interesting because you will see the hardcore as well. Because when you get to CitizenCon and you hear Sprocket say something for me.
Say something for me.
There we go. If you hear that accent, then you know that those people are hardcore because they've come from far and wide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're lazy. We just wait for 3 years to roll around. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm very excited. So,
what do you reckon? They're going to be cosplay there this year? People dressed up as things?
Probably. People can't resist. I'm going to go as my female character I created.
Oh, there you go.
Oh dear.
Oh yes.
Just going to turn up in a nun's outfit, holding a riding crop.
Basically. I'm going to expect this now because you've said it far too many times not to happen. So, in fact, if you pan his camera over to the left, that's all you see on the wall.
There's just little riding crops everywhere.
All right, two other things. Salvage gameplay that's due out at the end of the year. Do you think we'll see that?
No.
Or do you reckon that's going to get moved back again?
Yeah. I reckon that's going to be... I'm going to go with second quarter next year. That's how far back I think that's going to go.
So what are the dependencies for that? Because I think if they're going to expand gameplay and have all these kind of semi-permanent objects that are kind of itemized and then sold as locations for salvage, and then they have to persist long enough for people to come. I mean, realistically, all this stuff needs server-side object container streaming and probably some form of server meshing and persistence in order to get it up and running. And my confidence is like yours, DBC. I can't see it happening this year with everything else they're doing. It's got to be a couple of months into next year at the very earliest, unless they've got some kind of tier 0.
Really, we need most of that in before Microtech gets put in. I would have thought. I mean, they keep saying they're the servers are full up and they're struggling to get more stuff in at the moment. You can't put Microtech in there without half of that stuff.
Yeah.
All of it.
And in fairness, and not knocking the quality of the stuff that they drop in, because I think Hurston and ArtCorp have been tremendously successful in they've actually delivered something pretty stunning on each gauge.
Yeah,
but I could in a server that can hold a maximum of 50 people, I could hold off having yet another planet, a series of moons, until such time as they get the fundamentals going and bring in a couple of game loops. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, it'd be great, but there's no point in having another place to just look at as a tourist destination, because you see it once and then the hangars break and then you get stuck there forever. No, that was 3.5.
We've moved on. We've moved on.
They desperately need some game loops in, and they need to get some of those foundational technologies up and running before they really think about dropping that in. So I personally think they should delay it.
I'm completely with you.
Same here.
Completely. But I've got this kind of feeling in the back of my consciousness that a lot of gameplay loops they're not going to touch until next year. I think they're focusing so much on Squadron 42, they're not even looking at anything new like that right now.
No.
Just a feeling.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the material that's been produced, on the weekly shows, there seems to be a lot of things about demonstrations of tool sets and approaches to construction and stuff like that, and making helmets and dressing the scene. That one, it was all great stuff. I can't remember the last time. Maybe it was recently because I've got a crap memory, but I can't remember the last time they delved into those kind of game loop feature mechanics people are going to be screaming for. Yeah.
No, it's been a while.
The last one, do you think they're going to drop a flight-ready ship during CitizenCon?
Probably.
It's going to be around the anniversary time as well, isn't it?
I heard speculation. I heard speculation on Reddit, because that's all you get on Reddit. Of there's the possibility of and now I told you my mind would just wander because I'm on the crack. But there was speculation of a ship that they think is going to be a flight ready ship for the anniversary sale. So I'm assuming that if there's going to be one, they'd bring it out for CitizenCon. But I can't remember the name of it. It was a cool name as well.
There was a ballista or something, which was a rocket truck or something that they had.
I've heard that name flying around.
Anvil ballista or something.
There was Anvil ballista. Someone mistyped it on Reddit and called it a barista, and then there was about 1,000 posts of people just going, "Oh yeah, it delivers your coffee." It services coffee machines on Origin ships, and it was hilarious. But,
coffee truck.
Oh,
that would be awesome if you could get an MPV.
That would actually be awesome.
And just like roll up to someone's 890 jump and just like
a little food truck,
give some coffees and
So the idea is modular,
awesome.
isn't it? You could drop out. You can have the cargo. You've got the kind of personnel. The mobile coffee truck. I can have my ice cream van.
Pizza van.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, I think there is a high probability of there being something flight ready for CitizenCon. Just I don't know if it'll be a ship or maybe a vehicle sort of thing. I don't know.
How do you feel about this notion of delivering flight ready new ship designs rather than actually focusing the resource on delivering what is outstanding from the pipeline? I got mixed feelings about it myself, but I've got to admit they have got quite a big backlog of concepts that they've solved that we've seen nothing of. I've whereas it's great.
I'm looking at the Redeemer here. That's been sitting out there for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, some are waiting for new tech, but there are some in there that I'm sure aren't waiting for specific mechanics.
No, there's loads just waiting. Putting it like that, I think it would be better if they actually use those resources to get the ships out that have been in concept for like over a year.
Yeah.
Well over a year, a few of these.
And I've got to guess as a kind of prediction that when they drop in Crusader at the end of the year, beginning of next, that we might see the first of the Crusader Industries ships, probably the Mercury.
I hope so.
I think they're going to drop that as a surprise, at a guess. So
that's the one I'm waiting for.
Anyone got a Mercury
Krako's like hiding his giddy inner child.
I don't have one, but I do want one.
So we're all
I have one.
hopping on Sprocket's Mercury then when that gets released.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Go hide in the ductwork.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a cool looking ship, man. So yeah, I think the frustrating thing about that is that you've got all these people who have, and this is again this harks back to a Spectrum drama we had a while ago. People complaining that they've spent money on a ship and they knew it was, in the pipeline and it may be a year away, and then all of a sudden they bring out a ship that people could just buy now, and you think, well, hang on, how long did that take you to make? And why didn't you use that time to give me the ship I bought a year ago? So yeah, I find that a little bit cheeky in a way sometimes when they bring out a flight ready ship that could have trod on the toes of 2 or 3 other ships being made. But yeah, like you said, it could come down to tech. They might be waiting on certain things to be implemented before they can bring these ships out. So they're in a really weird area when it comes to these ship sales. So it's dangerous waters.
I think it gets worrying as well that, it's not really, this is a kind of first world problem really, but worrying about the number of ships that they got in the verse. I keep thinking to myself, great, they're spooning all these things out, and I love the variety and I love the fidelity of the ships and all that kind of stuff.
Drink.
But I'm thinking to myself, how the hell are they going to balance these things when it comes to the end of the game? Not from the point of view that I think they're going to ignore the game balance with these ships, but I just think it becomes like an exponential task, because every time you tweak something here, it'll have an impact over there. When you've got that kind of 100, 200 flyable ships, that's going to be a lot of work for them to get everything in the sweet spot, I imagine. I don't know, maybe I'm over worrying about it, but it feels a bit unmitigated at the moment, relentless in the way that they're kind of rolling these things out, and I can't help but think there's going to be some unintended consequences at the end of the day when it comes to making everything work neatly. And if you imagine people who had ships now for a couple of years and they've been flying them around, they get used to what they think the ship's going to be, and then right before it goes live they suddenly make that little tweak and it makes that ship you loved absolute crap. Or brings it back in line. Yeah,
definitely possible. So general excitement for CitizenCon after that big rant, but yes, we're all going except for Sprocket. Is that right, Jag? Definitely going. Yep, Jag's agreed.
Definitely. Yeah, I've told my wife already. I said, look, tickets are only £15. That's quite reasonable.
Yeah. That's £15 a month for the next. Yeah, no, it's going to be good. So, look into the future then. Sprocket, what's your end goal for Star Citizen? So imagine the game has come out and you can basically do whatever you want now in this vast universe. What's your ideal gameplay in Star Citizen?
Right now, it's exploration, and that's basically how I have my fleet geared up, is for exploration. There's some combat ships because things are going to happen that you're going to need some combat, and there's cargo hauling, there's information running. I think I have the bases pretty much covered, but it's primarily for exploration. Get my crew together, jump in my Carrack, and just go through a jump gate, a jump point, and go to a system and just start exploring. That's really what I'm looking forward to.
Good, sounds good to me. So, and Jag, apart from pad ramming, because that's your current favourite thing to do, is that right?
Absolutely not.
No, we don't. That's a joke, people. If you see anyone named Jag ramming you at a pad, it's a different Jag. No, what's your kind of end game for Star Citizen? What are you hoping for out of this game?
Well, I'm quite tempted to be in the passenger seat of that Explorer. But,
there's plenty of room.
I got to admit, I can see a large chunk of my time actually not doing anything particularly taxing and just chillaxing in a co-pilot seat. Because there's a space, like you heard of the term fire watching. At the end of the day, we just sit there and stare into the fire. I think late evening gameplay has that mesmeric effect on me, and I quite like the idea of just going in, sitting down, doing a bit of co-pilot stuff. But actually, gameplay-wise, the thing that I really grown to love in the current verse, and I can't wait to see that expand. It's not straight up PvP. I mean, I don't like just going out and fighting people who are good because they own me, and then it nags, and then the next 2 days I kind of think about it and brood, and they get angry, and then I become a wife beater and I slap my children. That doesn't happen. No, but what I do like, I like stealthy PvP mechanics. I love the bounty hunting at the moment. If somebody's done something wrong, picking up a mark and tracking down a player bounty is great fun. Some people are quite wily when it comes to that, and they're a bit of a challenge. But I've had a couple of really great battles, even in the verse the way it is at the moment. So I think that's great. The other thing I like, and we were talking about this earlier on off camera, was the stealth element of, because of the fidelity, being able to sneak on a ship, not just to kind of brain somebody with a shotgun, but to do the stealth stuff, to be creeping about and do kind of surveillance. I want to see how that kind of element of gameplay plays out. Ships like a Razor EX, which is stealth, being able to come in under the radar, infiltrate, get into places I shouldn't be and do stuff. I mean, some of the best gameplay I've had in the past, the PvP hunting stuff is one thing, but the emergent gameplay on Jumptown, I found, which has kind of been wiped out in 3.5 because of this proliferation of drug dens everywhere. But when we had the crucible of Jumptown, I would quite happily, you could take an Argo or even a Merlin out of Grimhex without a quantum and just fly all the way down to Jumptown, and just something as low signature as possible would normally get picked up and blown up. But abandon that and just camp it out and watch what's going on as these huge operations come in. I mean, you see, Hammerheads come in and Starfire Gemini coming in, and everybody landing and coming out, and they're loading these things up. And to know that they don't know I'm there, and I can hidden under a rock with a shoulder launching railgun or something like that, waiting to cause trouble. I just think that kind of open-endedness about this game is what really gives me a buzz. So I want to see more of that when it opens up, and balance that out with, like Sprocket said, go out, go through the jump gates and just explore and see what you can find. So that's my kind of game.
Sounds good to me. And Cryoco, what would be your ultimate goal for this game? If you can, what all the mechanics that are in this now, what do you see yourself doing, in 15 years time when it's released?
Oh dear.
I'd be a pensioner.
Looking forward to the flaming in the comments on this one.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't really have a set thing. I'm going to be doing a bit of everything. I haven't really seen anything that sort of nailed me down to I'm going to be doing that every day. I'm going to try and get kind of everything, so I've got options, so I can log on and go, what do I want to do today?
Yeah. Full spectrum gameplay, basically.
Yeah. Could be mining one day, could be, I don't know, going after pirates the next. Who knows?
I think that's pretty much mirrored. I mean, our gameplay is normally mirrored always. I think that's why we've gamed together for so long. Basically, I'm going to follow you. That's it. That's basically it. If you watch any gameplay of any game, pretty much, you'll normally always see I'm about 3 feet behind Cryoco, because I've always played a healer, and so that's my space. I'm there, and then if you get injured, bandage, you know. So that's
you're
quite
the
scary.
cleric of the party.
Oh yes, yeah. So that's quite funny. But yeah, I can see that, and I think because we'll both have different things we want to do, but we're probably going to spend a large majority of our time together. I think our gameplay is going to be vast, and definitely we will be in Sprocket's large ship going somewhere to look at that shiny. So
Oh yeah,
definitely. So that's the thing. I think that's the biggest takeaway for most people in this game is the fact that it's going to be vast. It's going to be huge, this game, hopefully. And the ability to be able to just jump in your ship and just keep going somewhere, and know that you're probably going to find something interesting. You know, that's the hope anyway. If they mess that up, then there'll be trouble.
yeah. There's going to be some words, especially from
Yeah.
You're gonna wag that finger. I got it.
Oh yeah.
Really want to see is that finger. I really want to see. They gave that glimpse of the giant sandworm and the idea of kind of this mega fauna and stuff. I love the idea of whatever that planet is, setting up some kind of cult around that planet where you can sacrifice people to the giant sandworm.
Yeah.
Well, that was Daymar, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's a different planet.
I remember in the video they actually looked up in the sky and they saw Olisar.
Oh,
It
right.
was
Is it really?
Yeah.
It was right next to Daymar for that video. It's not, you can't see Olisar from there. But I had the impression that was Daymar.
Yeah.
Get that megafauna in so we can start the human sacrifice to the god sandworm.
The Sarlacc pit. Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be awesome. Make that happen. Well, I think we've covered most of the things we wanted to talk about tonight. It's we're getting closer to a playable game now. I think once Squadron 42's out the way, this is going to skyrocket. But we'll see what 3.6 brings anyway. So thanks very much, Jag, for joining us.
Thank you.
And Sprocket, thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome.
And we didn't get to talk about World of Warcraft or D&D or any of that. We'll cover that on another episode. Because we're all huge nerds. I think that's pretty much it. So anything else anyone wants to add before we leave?
I'm good.
No, I'm all right.
Good. Cryoco?
No.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. So thanks very much everyone for watching, and we will try to do this maybe twice a month, maybe once a month, depends how you guys like it. Let us know in the comments if you like this kind of format, and also let us know in the comments or on our Discord if you'd like to join us and have a chat with us about all things Star Citizen and whatnot. But yeah, thanks everyone, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.